All right, let's talk about something we all try to avoid, something that just feels awful, failure. But what if we've been getting it completely wrong? Today, we're going to explore how to rewire your brain to see mistakes not as an end of the road, but as a secret superpower you can actually learn to use. So let's just sit with this for a second. That awful, sinking feeling you get when you mess up. What if it's not a stop sign? What if that feeling is actually your brain's way of firing up a giant neon sign that says, hey, pay attention. This right here, this is a massive opportunity to learn something, and to learn it fast. Okay, so first things first, we need to decode that signal. We're going to dive into why we have this deep, gut-level fear of the one thing that could actually be our greatest teacher, making mistakes. You know exactly the feeling I'm talking about, right? That sudden pit in your stomach, your heart starts racing. Well, there's actually a name for it, failure panic. And just knowing it has a name, that it's a real shared experience, that's the first step to getting some control over it. And look, here's the most important thing to get. This is not some kind of personal weakness. Failure panic is hardwired into us. It's an ancient evolutionary thing. Your primal brain just takes over and slams the fight or flight button because it cares way more about immediate survival than sitting around and analyzing what went wrong. It's a feature from a time when one little mistake could mean, your lunch. So what is actually happening in your brain when that panic hits? This is where it gets really interesting. Let's get into the neuroscience of what's going on when you're trying to learn, or more often, not learning, when you're under all that pressure. You can basically see this internal battle playing out right here. On one side, you've got that panic response. That's your amygdala, the brain's little alarm system, just screaming, threat, threat. When it's in charge, forget about learning anything. It's just not happening. But on the other side, you have the learning response. This is your prefrontal cortex, the calm, rational, problem-solving part of your brain. Our whole goal here is to build a bridge from that panic side over to the learning side. And this is the whole key. The thing that actually happened, sending an email to the wrong person, messing up a line in a presentation, that's just a mistake. It's a small thing, but your ancient brain wiring can blow it up and interpret it as a full-on world-ending catastrophe. It's that interpretation that completely hijacks your ability to learn from what happened. All right, so we get the problem, right? The question is, what do we do about it? So let's open up the Resilience Toolkit. I'm going to show you how to go from that feeling of pure dread to seeing useful data, and you can do it in 3 really simple steps. Okay, this is what you do right in the moment. It's called the Downshift Protocol, and it is a total game changer. Step 1, the 5-second pause. Seriously, the second you feel that panic rising, just stop. Take one deep, conscious breath. It's like hitting the pause button on your brain's alarm system. Step 2, reframe the monologue. You have to consciously change that voice in your head from "I'm an idiot" to "Okay, what's the actual problem here that needs to be solved?" And then step 3, do this later, when the emotion's gone. Conduct a postmortem. Look at what happened like a detective, just gathering clues, gathering data, not pointing fingers. You know, the words you use inside your own head are so incredibly important. And this isn't some fluffy, positive thinking trick. We're talking about literally changing your brain's wiring. Every time you consciously change the script from "I failed" to "Okay, I learned that this doesn't work," you are physically building a new neural pathway. You're making that new response easier to access the next time. And if you really want to make this a habit, try this out. Keep a personal failure log. Now, I know what that sounds like, a diary of all your screw-ups, right? But that's not it at all. Think of it more like a lab notebook. It's a tool for objective analysis. When you write down what happened and what you learned, you start to spot patterns. You can actually see yourself getting better over time. You start turning these emotional messes into super valuable strategic data points. So let's zoom out and look at the big picture. What's the long-term reward for all this? Well, it's all about building a future-proof brain and finally unlocking that learning superpower that's been in you all along. And the benefits over time are huge. When you practice these techniques, you see real, measurable growth in these key areas. Your resilience goes way up, you just bounce back faster, your ability to adapt to new things speeds up, and you actually become more innovative because you're not so scared to try new things that might not work out right away. You literally get better at getting better. What this all leads to is you becoming a neuro-hacker. It's a cool term, right? But it's true. You stop being a passenger who's just at the mercy of your brain's old knee-jerk reactions. You're now in the driver's seat, consciously taking control of your own learning process and deciding how you're going to respond to any challenge that comes your way. And let's be real, in the world we're living in, which is only getting more complicated and uncertain, this isn't just a nice-to-have skill. It is absolutely essential. Looking ahead to 2026 and beyond, being a master of your response to failure is what will set you up to thrive, no matter what the future decides to throw at us. So, I'll leave you with this one final thought. Think of it as a call to action. I want you to think of a mistake you made recently. Could be big, could be small. Now, using what we've talked about, how are you going to reframe it? What's the first mistake you are going to actively choose to turn into a real advantage?